Imagine you are an artist about to create your masterpiece, but your canvas is not a piece of cloth. Your canvas is the earth itself. Your painting will be so enormous, so vast, that a single figure might be larger than 3 football fields. Your lines will run for miles, straighter than any road. Now imagine there's a catch. Your creation is so massive that you, the artist, will never be able to see it. Standing on the ground, all you can see is rock, sand, and shallow ditches. The only way to truly appreciate your masterpiece, the only way to see the giant monkey, the spiraling hummingbird, or the intricate spider, is from above, from the sky, from the vantage point of a god. This is not a riddle. This is a reality etched into the high, arid plateau of southern Peru. For over 2 millennia, the Nazca Lines continue to hold their silence. Built by a civilization that vanished 1,000 years before the Inca Empire even rose to power, these lines present us with one of the most profound paradoxes in human history. They are drawings made for the sky, in an age before humans could fly. So, who were these ancient people? How did they achieve such impossible precision? And the biggest question of all, if they couldn't see them, who were they drawing them for? For centuries, these lines lay hidden in plain sight, dismissed as nothing more than ancient pathways or forgotten irrigation channels by the people on the ground. The secret was so big it was invisible. The truth had not been revealed until the 1920s and 30s, with the arrival of the first commercial airplanes. Pilots, flying their new routes over the desert, looked down and saw the unbelievable. Staring back at them from the desert floor was a menagerie of giant creatures. A monkey with a preposterous spiral tail, a spider measuring 150 feet across, a hummingbird poised for flight, a dog, a lizard, even a killer whale. But the animals were just the beginning. As explorers and archaeologists began to survey the area, the true scale of the canvas was revealed. There were hundreds of these figures, known as geoglyphs. Alongside them were thousands of perfectly straight lines, some running unbroken for over 9 miles. There were also massive geometric shapes, trapezoids, rectangles, and spirals, laid out with a precision that seemed to defy the primitive tools of the time. And then, there was this one. On the side of a sloping hill, a strange figure stands, waving. Dubbed the Astronaut, this 100-foot-tall figure, with its bulbous helmet and large, staring eyes, has become a lightning rod for the biggest theories about Nazca's origins. So, how did they do it? How did an ancient culture, with no written language, no wheel, and only the simplest tools, create artworks on such a colossal scale? The technical answer, discovered by researchers, is almost shockingly simple. The Nazca Desert is not sand. It's a plain covered in dark, rust-colored, iron oxide-coated pebbles. The Nazca people discovered how they could expose the much lighter, yellow-gray soil underneath by simply removing this 10 to 15-inch top layer. The contrast creates the line, and in one of the driest places on Earth, with almost no rain or wind, these shallow ditches have been perfectly preserved for over 2,000 years. But this simple technique only makes the true mystery deeper. Knowing how the paint was made doesn't explain how the Mona Lisa was painted. The real puzzle is one of engineering and perspective. How can you draw a 400-foot-long monkey with a perfect spiral tail when you can't even see what you're drawing? Archaeologists believe they used a grid system with simple wooden stakes and long stretches of string. They would create a small, perfect drawing on cloth or ceramic, and then, using this grid, scale it up, thousands of times larger. Imagine trying to draw a perfect circle, 5 miles wide, using only sticks and string. The level of mathematical precision and planning required is staggering. This points to a society with a deep understanding of geometry long before the Greeks. For decades, the leading voice was a German mathematician named Maria Reiche. She dedicated her entire life to the lines, living in the desert, sweeping them clean with a simple broom. She became known as the Lady of the Lines. Reiche was convinced the Nazca Plane was a massive astronomical calendar. She believed the figures represented constellations, and the long straight lines were aligned with the solstices and the rising points of stars, thus helping the Nazca people track the seasons for agriculture. Then in 1968, a Swiss author named Erich von Däniken proposed a far more explosive theory. In his book, Chariots of the Gods, he looked at the massive trapezoids and saw landing strips. He looked at the astronaut and saw an ancient visitor in a spacesuit. Von Däniken argued that the Nazca Lines were built either by aliens or for them, giant signals and runways to guide their ships back to Earth. This theory, while dismissed by scientists, changed the world's horizon in an incredible way. But today, a more complex earthly theory has emerged. Archaeologists, focusing on the region's climate, point out that the Nazca people lived in a constant struggle for water. This theory suggests the lines are not pictures of things, but pathways for things. They are giant, sacred walkways. The figures, like the hummingbird, were symbols of water and fertility. The Nazca people would walk these lines in massive ceremonial processions, praying to their mountain gods for rain. The lines were not made to be seen from above, but to be experienced from within. An astronomical calendar, an alien airport, or a massive, walkable prayer map? Perhaps the true answer is a combination of all three. Or perhaps it's something we haven't even begun to imagine. What we know for sure is that the Nazca civilization poured its heart, its faith, and its labor into creating an extraordinary message. They were trying to communicate on a scale that defies human perspective, with forces they believed controlled their world. The Nazca Lines remain one of Earth's greatest unsolved mysteries. They are a silent testament to a time when humans, with simple tools and a profound connection to the cosmos, quite literally moved the Earth to speak to their gods. They remind us that our ancestors' minds were not primitive, just different. And as we fly over them today, we are left with nothing but wonder. What other giant messages, what other impossible archives are still lying dormant, waiting to be seen from a new perspective? You can subscribe to the Enigma Archives to discover these kinds of unknowns together.